for Schindler. Has a chance to write his name in Huddersfield Town legend. And he takes that chance!
Hello and welcome to a pint-sized preview sponsored by Magic Rock Brewing and Huddersfield Town's opponents this season. We're looking at Stoke City. Why haven't they gone back up yet, Delilah? Will it be this year? Delilah only second to Richard Marx and Hazard as my favourite song about a murder. Let's hear what Stoke podcasters every step along the way think.
Hey Matt, hope you're alright. It is Andy from Every Step Along the Way podcast, and I'm here to give you my preview into Stoke's season. What do I think could go well? I feel like this could really be our season for promotion. I really feel that if we can keep a fully fit squad, we're going to do great things. Obviously, Nick Powell and Harry Soot are two key players who had injured last season, and they're both out injured still. Nick Powell recently picked up a new injury, but when they come back fit, hopefully we can keep them fit and they do brilliantly. Tyrese Campbell back to full fitness will be brilliant, with Jacob Brown and Dwight Gale up front. And if Josh Diamond can have the players in the box, his service will be amazing. What could go wrong? Well, it's the same thing every season. It will be injuries, and it's always the key players. Every player that we've got so basically can get into the first team, and I'm just hoping that we can keep a fully fit team. It would really be a key part for our season. In my opinion and the podcast's opinion, we think Michael O'Neill is the right man for the job. If things do not go his way, we have said maybe January, end of December, bring someone else in so they can get some players of theirs. But at the moment, we do think Michael O'Neill still is the man for the job, especially what he's done with Northern Ireland. It is an achievement in itself. Our key player, probably Lewis Baker, Josh Timon. They're a joint decision on my part, but I also think Dwight Gale, if he can do what he's done in the Championship, he will be a key player for us. Hey, he may even single-handedly carry us to the league promotion and maybe even the title if I'm being that optimistic. Our transfer business has been pretty good. There's been a few key players I've mentioned. Obviously, Dwight Gale's come through the door. We've got Harry Clark, who's also come in. Aidan Flint, another signing who can play as any part of the centre-back department. And we brought in one or two others who aren't as big names. Gavin Kilkenny, Will Smallburn, who will hopefully help with the team. But I think as a podcast, we've collectively put ourselves around 8th to 6th. So I'm just hoping that we do have a good season. And I hope Huddersfield have a good season as well.
Thank you very much. Stoke then, the absolute masters of, oh, he's there. Oh, I remember him. Oh, he was really good, but weirdly, he was at Stoke 2 years ago. Their squad is always quite odd, like loads of names, like Jagielka Klukas, Lewis Baker, who was linked with everyone for years, Tyrese Campbell, Nick Powell. But they're never really able to be more than the sum of their parts. They have a brilliant manager. I love Michael O'Neill. I think he's exceptional, but their recruitment is just continually quite odd. And they've always got a squad that looks a bit too big. They've worked hard on that this summer. There's a lot gone this summer. And likes of Alfie Doty, Benny Cathobi, James Chester, Joe Allen, Stephen Fletcher, Tommy Smith, and others. And I think that probably helps them this season. I think O'Neill can work with a little bit more of a core of players. And I have a feeling it's probably likely to be sort of upper mid-table for them rather than pushing into that playoff spots. Again, suffering a little bit with that clutch of teams that are above them who are just a little bit better. But I think they'll be all right. I think they'll be fine this season. But they live quite a weird existence where they've got this huge budget and an owner who is worth all the money in the world, and yet they sort of spend it on players like Nick Powell. So it's quite, I don't know, they're an odd club, Stoke, and I think it would just be a Stoke season in the Championship, which is what we've come to sort of expect from them. But at some point, Michael O'Neill is going to go to a really good club. I mean, if you put Michael O'Neill in charge of that Sheffield United squad, I think he would get them in the top 3 at the first time of asking, for instance. So, yeah, Brady, Stoke, talk to me.
That's interesting because I know a few Stoke fans, and they were kind of, didn't finish well at the end of the season, and there was a couple of questions about O'Neill. Stoke are one of those teams for me where they're a bit of a catfish. Like, they have a lot where you think, oh, they should be up in the conversation, and they always disappoint you. I can't really see that changing this season. Tyrese Campbell had a big injury last season, but he's a player I really like. DeMarjo Wright-Phillips, an exciting youngster. Nick Powell, we've seen what he can do on his day. But again, just like weird players. That I think bringing in Aidan Flint, like a bit of an interesting one. Josh Laurent, I think, is a good signing, but I always predict Stoke higher than the finish, and I think I've just been burned a couple of times, so I can't really see that changing. I think they'll be top. They could be anywhere from kind of like 8th to 14th, and I'll be like, but I think they always do a bit worse than I expect. So I'll probably go mid-table again.
Tom?
Whoa, surely it's time. Surely it's the time O'Neill takes them into that top 6 and gets them up there. I'll give them this. They've got a good kit this season, and it looks like a kit that will be up there challenging. So I don't know. I really like O'Neill. And it is interesting. Like, Aidan Flint, it's kind of like they've got rid of quite a lot of those players that they needed to get rid of. And then they go and sign someone like Aidan Flint, which is really interesting. It'd be interesting to see what kind of contract he's on there as well, because he's got to be getting near the end of his career now. And is he just going to end up being at Stoke for 3 or 4 years? Do you know what I mean? So, I'm going to be bold, though, with him. I think they'll be pushing up there this year. I think it's O'Neill's time this year to take them that step further and maybe get them pushing for that top 6.
Matt?
Yeah, Dave, I swear I left her by the river. I swear I left her safe and sound. It's a very disturbing but very good song, isn't it? Hazard by Richard
He definitely did it.
He definitely did, yeah.
I don't care what he says. He definitely did it.
It's the bit, isn't it, where it says no one understood what I felt for Mary, and it's like he loved her that much to bludgeon her to get to death by the river. It's a very strange song, and this has taken a very strange turn, hasn't it? But it is a little bit disturbing, as Dave said. Stoke, do you know what? I've predicted Stoke top 6 last 2 seasons, and I'm not going to fall for it this year. I'm not going to fall for it. Like Brady says, catfish. I think Josh Laurent's a great signing for them. I think he's really good. I think he's really smart. I don't think they'll miss Joe Allen. Michael O'Neill, I think Stoke are going to do something crazy, like sack him quite early in the season. They tend to do that, don't they? Nathan Jones didn't do well there, but maybe needed a bit more time. And they never appoint particularly bad managers. They just do badly. It's really strange, isn't it, with Stoke? It just seems a bit poisoned, and it shouldn't be, because they've got good owners, they've got a good group of fans, they've got everything going for them. It just never really happens. And I'm not sure what will make it happen for Stoke. I just don't think it's going to be this year. Mid-table.
So Stoke to have a Stoke season. Thanks for joining us for yet another pint-sized preview.